Hello students, today we are going to study about the structure of DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Now let us know who found out the structure of DNA, about their shape, about their structure. First, Rosalind Franklin was the first one to find out the shape of DNA in 1953, while Watson and Crick, James Watson and Francis Crick, studied the structure of DNA, its complete composition, and has given the Watson and Crick model of DNA, and has also given certain postulates regarding the structure of DNA in 1953. Now let us know what exactly is DNA. So DNA is a large molecule consisting of two polynucleotide strands which are complementary in nature, and they wound around each other in a double helix. This term polynucleotide something we'll be studying now. So firstly we'll talk about what is this nucleotide. The DNA is composed of two polynucleotide strands which are arranged in a helical manner in the form of helix. So firstly we'll talk about what is this nucleotide. Then we'll understand the meaning of this entire sentence. So let's see. Nucleotides are the structures made up of three basic components. So this is the structure of a nucleotide, which is made up of three major components. First one is 5 carbon sugar, which is also known as pentose sugar. So the name is pentose sugar because of a 5 carbon molecule present in the sugar. 5 carbons present in sugar. So which kind of sugar is used? Deoxyribose sugar is used in case of DNA, while in case of RNA, ribose sugar is used. Since we are talking about DNA, so which kind of sugar is used? Deoxyribose. The other part is, so this is the pentose sugar here, or you can say deoxyribose sugar. Now another portion is phosphate group. So this is the phosphate group. Now the third part is nitrogenous base. So this is the nitrogenous base. These three parts form a complete nucleotide, and these many nucleotides, similarly many of these nucleotides together combine to form a structure known as polynucleotide. Now we'll be talking about the term here, nitrogenous base. So what is this nitrogenous base? So there are 4 nitrogenous base. First one is adenine, another one is guanine, third one is cytosine, and the fourth one is thymine. The 4 nitrogenous bases which are present in our DNA molecule, which help in forming a helical structure. How does this happen? We'll be studying. So till now we studied that DNA is made up of nucleotides, and nucleotides are made up of 3 components, which is pentose sugar, phosphate group, and nitrogenous base. So which kind of sugar is used? Deoxyribose sugar is used, phosphate group is used, and nitrogenous base is present. The 4 nitrogenous bases are adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine in case of DNA. But if we talk about RNA, in case of RNA, which kind of pentose sugar is present? Ribose sugar is present. And instead of thymine, uracil. Instead of thymine, uracil nitrogenous base is present. All the components will remain the same. only the difference will be in place of deoxyribose sugar will be present, and in case of thymine, uracil will be present. Rest of the things will remain the same in case of RNA. Now we move on to DNA first. So just like I said, this is a structure of a nucleotide. Similarly, many nucleotides have combined and they have formed a polynucleotide chain. So this entire chain is a polynucleotide chain. And similarly, there is another polynucleotide chain over here, and both the polynucleotide chains are held together by the hydrogen bonds. And these hydrogen bonds are between the nitrogenous bases. Now we can go back to this definition of DNA again, and now we will understand the meaning of the entire sentence. DNA is a large molecule consisting of two polynucleotide strands. So just see, these are the two polynucleotide strands which are complementary in nature, as well as they are held together by hydrogen bonds, and they lie in a helical manner. They always form a helix. This is known as helix. This is a structure which appears in a 3D dimensional view. Now this is the structure I was talking about. So this is the helical structure. Now here is a Watson and Crick model of DNA which we have talked about. Since Watson and Crick were the first to discover the structure, to find out the structural composition of DNA. So they have given a certain model of DNA and there are certain postulates regarding it. We'll be studying about it. So DNA is composed of two chains of nucleotides. Just now we talked about it consists of two chains of nucleotides, and these chains are spiral around the central axis to form a pair of right-handed helix. So it is forming a helical structure. It is present in a right-handed manner, as you can see. The sugar phosphate is present in the backbone. So sugar phosphate is present here, while the bases are present in the interior here. The two chains are held together by hydrogen bond. As you can see, the two chains are held by the hydrogen bond present in the center. And these hydrogen bonds are between the nitrogenous bases. The two strands run in an anti-parallel polarity. Suppose if one strand reads 3' to 5', if one strand reads 3' to 5', the another strand will read 5' to 3'. They are always in an anti-parallel polarity. The helix has two external grooves. One is known as major groove and the other one is known as minor groove. The larger one is known as major groove and the smaller one is known as minor groove. It is the region through which these DNA interact with the protein molecule. Okay. Now we move on to the another point. Another point is, and the most important one, these hydrogen bonds formed between the nitrogenous bases have certain rules. Adenine always bonds with thymine by double bond, while cytosine always bonds with guanine by triple bond. So adenine bonds with thymine by double bond, while cytosine binds with guanine with a triple bond. These are the postulates of Watson and Crick model of DNA. Now we move on to what is DNA replication. Replication means forming the copy of its own, the process in which the new DNA molecule is formed from the parent DNA molecule. It is forming the copy of its own. So this is the DNA helical structure, which is opening, or both of the strands of DNA are opening at one of the end, and the new strands are produced simultaneously, and at the end we will get the two of the DNA strands. Each of this new DNA contains one original strand and one new strand being formed. Now we move on to the two types of chromosomes, autosomes and the sex chromosomes. The human beings consist of 23 pair of chromosomes. All in all, they contain 46 chromosomes, out of which 22 pair of chromosomes are known as autosomes, and they are responsible for determining the physical appearance of the individual, while one of the pair, or the 23rd pair of the chromosome, is known as sex chromosome, and it determines the sex of an individual, whether it will be a male or a female. They are also known as allosomes. There are two types of sex chromosome, the X chromosome and the Y chromosome. X chromosome is the larger one and the Y chromosome is the smaller one. Females are usually designated as XX. They contain two X chromosome, and this type of sex chromosome is known as homomorphic. While the males are designated as XY, they contain one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. Since two different types of chromosome are present, they are known as heteromorphic. While the human females produce only one type of gamete with all X, they are termed to be homogametic. The males produce two types of gametes, both X and Y, they are termed as heterogametic. There are various functions of chromosome, but the most important function is it is a hereditary vehicle. It is responsible for transfer of hereditary characters. Chromosome also controls the synthesis of structural protein due to the presence of various genes in them. Chromosome also help in cell division so that the process of mitosis and meiosis takes place easily, and the daughter individuals are formed, and they contain the characteristics of the parents. The sex chromosome determine the sex of the individual. Sex chromosome are responsible for the sex of the individual, while the autosomes are responsible for the physical appearance of the individual. And the chromosome are responsible for the development of the individual. Thank you.